So first and foremost, especially this video, it's more of a note for me to reference back to, and also the not milk, right? To jam it up a little bit. Before I forget, like God or a God. Say there's several, right? Or when you become a god, the underlying whatever of existence, I think is much more primitive than what people have been led to believe. The peace, Nama must always stay, will leave you in pieces, instead of embracing, say, other aspects of yourself, like the animal. And I think, say, the concept of God would be way more animalistic. If everything's energy, and what have we experienced so far? It's the dressing up of consuming us. We're given beliefs to consume, and then we're consumed by those beliefs. But I was a friend recently. I was asking her, would you accept yourself, your truer self, if you figured out that is more primitive than you had believed? But just look at nature. It's and we are nature. Everything stems from a natural order of things. It's very beast-like. Consuming, being consumed by on some level. But another thing I wanted to point out is, I don't know if anyone else sees something similar, but I won't go into too much detail. But last night I did a really good energized meditation. I do slack off on that kind of shit on the beach. And now I was listening to Manny P. Hall about magnetism, right? And the conflict of tension within that we get. I think that's a sign of sin. Any disease or ill element or aging is a sign of sin too. It's being out of touch with the natural way. Christ sacrificed in Golgotha, meaning skull. So we try to the body does have, if you just let it do its thing, does have way more knowledge and wisdom than your head does currently. And I do notice that when I start to really move ahead, connect with whatever you want to call it, what the agnostics call it, the demiurge or whatever, the not milk. I see it acting up, trying to stop it. The type of behavior that some people, not everybody, but some people start doing, and say if I don't stress out over it, like I used to, I don't, because it's I see it. It's oh, I was moving ahead, and now it's trying to get me to get my mind and therefore energies back on it. So it's acting up through this person, and I'll say stuff like it's doing that because I am superior to it. It can't survive without me, and yes, I'm actually the one in control, and ha 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 ha, and I'm actually annoying it. That by seeing that it's trying to annoy me because it needs me, but I don't need it. think of how far I can go, the things I can create, and it's infinite possibilities without this nonsense element that's the only thing it ever brings. So when I do, I say stuff like that in my head, and a lot of times when I do that, say we'll call it a spirit working through that person, it like hears what I'm saying, it leaps. It's like, oh fuck, like I'm about to destroy it or something. But then it'll come back later, and it's the same thing that I was doing earlier. It's like if you want to say it's a spirit or a program running through, hopping person to person. Like I've talked about this before in the past. And also there's certain frequencies that it also tries to use too. And I had that going on in the house, which I was like, no, I'm not fucking putting up with that shit. And it's funny because like before that frequency popped up again, it was a refrigerator. I won't get into all the details because you guys don't, and all that. But refrigerator making a certain frequency. Before that started popping up, like a week before, there's this elementary school nearby. The AC unit makes this sound sometimes, and it's funny because it's like a week and a half ago, the school's AC thing, like 2 blocks down or whatever, was making that noise, and I have called and made a complaint, and it's they're supposed to fix it back in January, which sounded like they did, but then I was like moving forward a little bit. I know I'm rambling here. Moving forward more, and then all of a sudden that noise started coming up again about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago for a few days. And then like the refrigerator in my man cave that makes a similar frequency that has the same effect on me. It has, it basically like me out. It fucks with my ability to progress, transcend. So when then the refrigerator became another drama thing where it's like, no, it has to be in here. I'm like, why? There's plenty of room in the other fridge. Well, it freezes. I'm like, doesn't freeze. It was just all this drama that just like really, it was laughable. It didn't make sense. I'm not gonna get into all the details with this shit right now. So I finally got the refrigerator, unplugged it again. It's like, no, I'm not dealing with that shit. The next day, the school started making the sound again. So like what I'm saying, like the school was making that sound. Then when the refrigerator was plugged back in and was allowed to do that for 2 or 3 days, the school was no longer making that sound. And then when I was unplugged the refrigerator, then the next day the school started making the sound again. So what I'm saying is like, it's not just the drama, but it is a frequency war. And if you want to think about too, like the drama of the frequency, that's frequency too. So anyways, it's similar. I was told a friend, right? I don't know how you can. It's kind of weird considering people friends here, right? Especially knowing that the true minions, the ones you really have to watch out for, are next to you. And a lot of them are probably your family members. There's a Bible verse that talks about that, actually. The true minions you have to watch out for are the ones near you. They get close enough to jab the knife into you, or jab the hook, the deer cord in you, right? So I was helping a friend move earlier, and stuff in his warehouse, and what we were doing just didn't make any sense at all. Like we were doing like a whole lot of nothing. It's strange. It was like weird. It was like just so I could get next to the across the warehouse thing, the warehouse right across, there was that same noise from a golf cart. It was like a golf cart place, and just had that noise, like backing up, but it was slightly altered. And it's just like, I was like, what the fuck? And I dealt with it a little bit, and it got to the point that I'm like, you know what, you have to be careful of, like, especially your politeness, what you're trained to be polite, and your morals, that keeps you from your true power. That's one of the things that keeps you from your power. And when I finally said, you know, get out of my head or whatever, the body, the other energies I have within my body, within my genetic code, I'm gonna let them do their thing. And small social things I was doing, it seemed like the guy was getting like kind of like nervous. I wasn't like being aggressive or anything like that. And I finally said, you know, I don't think I'm really into this project right now. And he's like, oh, they like got me out of there. I know I'm rambling here, but what it is people like us, they are trying to keep us still trained like animals, like dogs. And even now, we still have those prisons within us, which we must undo. The morals and the social politeness and everything that we're taught is still really keeping us from, you know, one of the things I wrote recently was be careful of the, said something like, be careful of the people with etiquette. Politeness is not the same as good-natured. And that goes the same with us, too. I mean, you think about, like, the politeness is just, it's like a fiction. So, like, it's a fake construct, like all the other fake constructs that we've been in. And if we can really break out of these kind of things, we are powerful. Very, very powerful. And the way we move and breathe, we need to start being more I need to start being more artistic about it. You know, instead of just, oh, well, if I do this, then people will think that I'm a nice guy, and blah, blah, blah. No, and get creative. And, like, it is, like, interesting when you get, like, in a flow state, more in touch with yourself, and you move differently, what it does to the people around you. It's, like, almost like they're mesmerized by it. And they, like, there's, like, a deep part of them that remembers it. I don't know, I feel like just from that interaction at the warehouse, like it activated, reawoken something in me. Also too, I got from a friend recently, I would consider her a friend, someone kind of similar to me. She's been hiding for a while, and it shows. I can see it in her face, stressed out. You know, we don't need to hide anymore. We went through this shit. And at least me, I was brave enough to stand up to pretty much the world, and being held at gunpoint and shit by 12 police officers over some very bizarre shit. Still, I stuck my ground. And with the mask thing too. See, the mask thing is just like, I'm saying you have to, you don't have to, but if you want to get food, transportation, work, whatever, then you're indirectly forced. So me, I poke fun at with my masks or whatever. And it's an opportunity to get creative. But I don't just lay down. I don't just do what I'm told. And I know it sounds like, oh, well, why, I'm not picking the fight. I'm not the one telling everyone to wear a mask. But there's something like when you stand up, the universe and yourself and whatever, like it takes notice. It's like, this is a special one. I'm not trying to boast myself up. I'm just telling you that one of the things I've been seeing. My friend Kat, the one that gave me a massage, she went into Trader Joe's, I think the same day that Chalk Body Outline posted his Trader Joe video. And she refused to put a mask on her kid. And it was like a big drama thing. And I congratulate her. I'm like, you know what? Good for you. Thank you. And that's proud of you that you're willing to stand for yourself and your kid. And the universe does take note of that. Because you're not just willing to forfeit your life, pretty much, your life force, just because someone else told you to, or a group told you to. You're standing up for something greater than theirs. But I don't know if there's really a point to this, but yeah, I mean, your truer self, what would be considered God in the natural order of things, is more beast-like than you thought, or you were led to believe. If you can get someone to love, you can get them to do anything. That's why they keep on pushing this peace, love, namaste. If you're gonna love anybody, love yourself. And take pride in yourself. It's not easy going through all this shit and pretty much, for the most part, being fucking alone in a sea of walking dead zombies that are filthy retarded beyond all measure, to quote Quasi-Luminous. Become who you are. There are no guarantees.